Coming to from the finest of America. It's the Bob and Bob Show.
Senator, President Trump said in his State of the Union address, and I'm quoting him now, America, this is the president, America will never be a socialist country. Will that hold true if you're elected president?
If I am elected president, we will have a nation in which all people have health care as a right, whether Trump likes it or not. We are going to make public colleges and universities tuition free. We are going to raise the minimum wage to a living wage of at least $15 an hour. And whether Trump likes it or not, when I talk about human rights, you know what that also means? It means that our kids and grandchildren have the human right to grow up in a planet that is healthy and habitable. And it is really a disgrace and an embarrassment that we have a president who rejects science, who does not even understand that climate change is real and caused by human activity, who does not understand what this planet will look like in years to come.
I want to be like Trump. I want to be like Trump. I want to be like Trump. I want to be like
Hey, what's up, man? You guys are listening to the Bob and Bob Show. We are back at you for another installment. We got Mr. Chops with us today.
How you doing?
And also, we got the bearded one.
Hey!
Wow. All right, so make sure to get on our email list because we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff, giving away some free gas cards and other little gift certificates and stuff like that. So you can get to that a couple different ways. You can text Bob and Bob Show to 22828, or you can go to bobandbobshow.com. And a little pop-up will come there, and you can jump on, and you can sign up for the email list. And then there's a little thing in the sidebar. You can go there, too. And so that's bobandbobshow.com. And we do have some new affiliate advertisers with us now. CBD, Diamond CBD. They got hemp stuff, and go there, buy some stuff. We want you to.
It's Tommy Chong's sponsored thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yep. And then we have a vitamin thing there, too. You can go there, and you can click and get some vitamins and all that. Also, we have complaintboxes.com. That's still around. That's like our little social media platform. I suggest people go there and sign up and create a profile because what we're going to be doing is we're going to find some of the best things you guys say on there, and we're going to feature them on the show. If we feature them on the show, then we might give you like a $10 or $20 gas card or something like that.
Sounds like
Let
a good
us
idea
know
to
how
me.
we can do better.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing, too.
Hats and T-shirts.
Chops, you are not allowed to be involved in this because it's not for people of the show. It's for other people. So there's no free gas cards.
You mean no conflict of interest? What is this, Congress?
All right, what do I need a gas card for? I ride with Beard.
I am his gas card.
Yeah.
Beard rides.
Beard rides. All right, so we had Bernie Sanchez there in the beginning. Bernie Sanders in the beginning there. What'd you think about that?
Bernie Sanchez.
No.
Well, I think some of the stuff that he proposes isn't something that you can just bam, pow, right into existence without consequence. A lot of major changes need to be at a pace that is sustainable. That's the first thing I'll say about it.
Did you see that meme where like Bernie combs his hair with a balloon or something? Or I don't always comb my hair, but when I do, I use a balloon.
That's pretty funny.
Oh man, you know what? I don't hate the guy. They got a lot of these democratic socialists, quote unquote. They have some good ideas.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think Bernie is a bad guy at his core. I think he's got some foolish narratives. I don't think his character is necessarily bad, but that is beside the point. Intentions don't mean anything. Results do.
He's got high hopes.
He looks crazy as hell, if you ask me.
He looks like the stereotype of.
So did Albert
Bernie
Einstein.
Sanders.
He looked like a nutcase.
Yeah, he did.
Looks like an old man, from New York. That's what he looks like.
How about we stop trying to freaking redefine socialism and calling it democratic socialism? And how about we stop trying to replace capitalism? I mean, why can't we fix it first?
Well, pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? Swinging wildly from one extreme to another never solves anything. It usually just makes a situation that's broken absolutely catastrophic and then gets replaced with something that is either even worse or the same, usually. changes that are positive are systemic changes that take time.
Well, we know some of the things that are wrong with capitalism and what's happening with the cronyism within government that's going on.
The points where I personally will agree with Bernie is some of the stuff where he points out some of the problems with capitalism. What I don't agree with usually is his radical approach to solution, quote unquote, because it isn't necessarily the way he's presenting it, you know?
Well, I know that he didn't even get employed till, after age 39. 1981, he won an election for the mayor of Burlington, Vermont.
Yeah.
After serving 8 years as a mayor, he ran for Vermont's lone House seat representatives in 1990. Then his salary bumped up to about $96,000 a year.
Which in 1990 was probably more like about $200,000 now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
After 8 terms in the House, he ran and won for a Senate seat 2006, where his salary bumped up to $165,000 a year.
Yeah.
He owns 3 houses. He bought a $575,000 4-bedroom lakefront home in Vermont. And then he has a house in Washington and a house in Burlington, Vermont. So, this
he's
is the
roughing
guy.
it. That dude is roughing it.
He's not exactly doing the whole army fatigues, I'm one of the people kind of despot things,
Yeah, well, here's the thing here.
Which is usually just bait anyway.
Income inequality. Yet you're sitting on 3 houses, dude.
They heard me on the last show say I'm watching what he's doing, not what he's saying. If he's not leading from the front, if he's not living by his own convictions, he's a fraud in my view.
If he's not leading from the front, he's getting it from the back.
It's not even just Bernie Sanders either. I'm talking every man on earth here. This is my same philosophy.
These people within the federal government and the higher echelons of the federal government, I mean, they're making buku bucks.
Well, what did he, 39? I'm 39 now. I can't, what I've done in my life up to now, I can't even imagine having never had a job till then. What was he doing exactly? How did he become a mayor?
Selling pot.
How did he become a mayor?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, these are just stuff that's floating around on the internet.
Sure.
So who really knows if it's true or not?
Yeah, I got you.
But I mean, if you look at all the other senators and congressmen, I mean, they're making some dough. Like Nancy Pelosi is a millionaire.
I know.
I mean, why are these people so freaking rich?
Because they take bribes.
Do they all take bribes? There's got to be some good ones in there.
Let's do an experiment then and find somebody that we can dress up real fancy, and let's start putting them in, running for mayor around here, running for seat on the Senate. Let's do it. I mean, what is it?
We can get on their entourage, and
all you got to do is say the right thing that people want to hear, and boop, you're in that seat.
Local politics.
We're from there. Yep.
Yeah, you ask. Well, here's how you do it. You ask the people what they want to hear. You listen to what they say, and then you repeat it to them.
Right. Let's put a shirt and tie on Burgess and have him run for mayor.
And then,
Burgess for mayor.
And then all of a sudden, you're up in Congress and you're making $190,000 a year, $200,000 a year.
Yeah. Right.
You know what?
You got your thugs behind you on the podcast.
Right. You got your freaking your armed guards, and while you're advocating to get rid of the Second Amendment, but yet you got armed guards around you everywhere.
A personal salary for an important job like Congress, high profile and high stakes, but also part-time, let's be honest, is
quarter time.
A lot. I think it's $174,000 a year they get or something like that. That's a more money than most households ever see in middle America. Is it enough to become, filthy rich in the sense where we're talking like worth,
Trump rich.
$50 million, $150 million, $200 million, like a lot of these people are? Absolutely not. It's not even close to that.
Gold toilet rich. I got a gold toilet.
That money comes from special interest dealing, and cronyism is what it is.
I don't think it's special interest dealing.
Here's the other thing. We don't take sides here at the Bob and Bob Show.
No,
obviously.
I don't. The partisan thing is so dead to me.
Some people will start to listen to this show, and they're going to be like, oh, no, they hate Bernie, they hate liberals, they hate Democrats, and really we're just hitting it from every angle because we don't care about your party line.
Well, I think we've already discussed that Trump is garbage.
Hippies.
I mean,
we're New Age hippies. We love everything.
We love everything.
I love you.
I just like to keep it honest, and the partisan model, the bipartisan model, arguably by design, just like some of the founding fathers did argue, serves more as a vehicle for corruption and baiting the public than actually accomplishing things in legislation that are for the people.
Well,
it opens the door to identity politics, which makes people retarded, frankly.
Right. Well, let's keep it on Bernie here for a second because we got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah.
But his last run for president, he had a lot of individual donors just giving him their money.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know how much money he made off of that, but
every president does.
So
that,
within his him announcing and running for president this time around, within the first 24 hours, this guy made $6 million.
Yeah, he's high profile, man. Yeah,
like from individual donors.
Right.
He is pimping
That's
himself.
how politicians make money.
That's a high-class pimp right there.
It's called campaign contributions.
Well, that means that all people who paid this $6 million, they believe in his cause.
Absolutely.
And that was within the first 24 hours. I wonder how much it's now.
Yeah, who knows?
And that's the problem right there. People are donating money to these people in government.
Yeah.
And they're acting like, well, Bernie, he's an old school hippie style. He had an album and stuff, some folk.
It's horrible,
crap
too.
or
Have you heard it?
No, I haven't heard it.
It's laughably, it's a parody of itself.
Banjo's music.
No, banjos are good.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I don't really know, but seriously, people need to really look into what's happening and what he's pushing. Free college, yeah. You say free anything, everybody goes ape crap on it.
It's a bunch of arbitrary
You get
garbage.
a college. You get a college. You get a college.
Yeah, basically.
Everybody gets a college.
What I want to see is I want to see the business plan. I'm not buying. I'm not issuing a loan without a business plan that is sensible and sustainable. And that's nothing I've seen from anybody. Nobody, right or left.
There are some really dumb people with a whole lot of money.
Well, yeah.
Really dumb people.
Of course there are, man. Go to L.A.
And look, here's about his healthcare plan. He actually admits it's going to cost like $32 trillion.
Sure. Yeah.
With a T.
Yeah.
Trillion.
Yeah.
So where's that coming from? Taxes.
There's nobody that's voting for him can even conceptualize that figure. That's part of the problem.
I can't even conceptualize that figure.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's astronomical and ridiculous, and it's it's garbage rhetoric until there's an actual plan. Giving a figure like that is meaningless to me. Show me how you're going to do it.
We'll just have Trump file for bankruptcy for the government.
Unsustainable. It's absolutely unsustainable, and it's retarded to even think that's okay to even be like, this is $32 trillion. Boop, 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 boop. It's like that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Got it in a briefcase.
Yeah, look at the budget. Look at the budget.
Why not just call it 500 million trillion then? When it's that ridiculous.
It's a trillion gazillion dollars.
That's 50,000 Google dollars to do this. Let's do it today. Come on, man. Come up with something that means something.
Or 10 Bitcoins.
10 Bitcoins.
That's the shit. That's the stuff I'm sick of hearing, man. And AOC does the same thing. And then, it's no different with the Republicans trying to justify taking away tax allocations, although taxation is immoral, but tax allocations that were for the people at large, the citizenry, and they take it away and give it more to corporations and corporate interests and special interests and military and prison industrial complexes and all that crap. That's the right side of the garbage. What we need to do is get rid of both of them because they're both garbage.
Pew, pew, pew.
You just lost chops on that one.
What did you say?
I said, pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew. That's what my head did. Shut down. Reboot.
Well, really, let's look into these no, they're not idiots, but let's look into these politicians and let's charge them for things.
Yeah.
What a concept, No, let's just redo the whole freaking economic system and the way our government runs because we're not going to go after all these criminals that are in government. We're just going to rearrange deck chairs on the Titanic.
There are.
Vote for
That's
Bob.
a good way to put it. There are some nations like Iceland, for example, that are bringing it down on the banks, man. They're starting to hold bankers and politicians that are corrupt in regard to as the white-collar criminals that they are and putting them in their own prisons.
Well, speaking of criminals, we also have the new Ohio gas tax coming.
Yeah.
I don't know. You get what's the price at the pump right now? I didn't even look.
Too much.
It's above $2 again. I mean,
it's like $2.50.
Yeah, I think it is. It's so variable. Around here, you drive 20 miles and it's 50 cents different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is our great governor, Mike DeWine. This freaking idiot. So
didn't France just
Mike
go up in
DeWine.
arms over this kind of thing?
that's what I was saying. I forget who I was talking to, and I'm like, man, the Yellow Vest has been over there freaking destroying France for how many weeks now? I don't even know.
It's been a few months.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's disappeared out of the media.
Yeah, I know. I see it on RT News all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
We were watching some stuff this morning, live footage of them getting water cannoned.
I'm not okay with a gas tax.
Dude, this is so. Let's get into this DAX tax,
Dude,
gas tax, real quick.
Beep, beep, beep.
We get taxed. That's a tax on money that we've already been taxed on. Like
Yeah,
so
so-
many of these taxes are.
It's a 10.7-cent gas increase and a 20-cent on diesel. Okay,
Yeah.
So you're already being charged. They're going to be hitting you with this, and this freaking Governor Mike DeWine actually wanted it to be an 18-cent hike.
He can go.
Right.
And here's what they're saying. They're saying, oh, well, we need to fix the roads and bridges.
Then fix the roads and bridges.
What about our state, local, and federal taxes? Where are those going?
What about everything we're already paying
Listen,
in?
What the hell, dude?
I got no problem paying it if they fix the roads. You know what I mean?
No, the roads should be fine because they already have the money.
Listen, the roads are terrible.
The money's already
It's
there.
about management and
You
allocation.
ever driven down Route 8? Oh, there's potholes
Well, I'm
on
sure
Route
there's
8.
problems with the roads all over
It's
Ohio
not
for sure.
Terrible.
The road situation is an ongoing thing. Infrastructure is, but what I'm saying,
Figure out what Kentucky does. Kentucky's got nice roads. Every road in Kentucky's nice.
what my argument is, Kentucky's so poor, it's insane.
Well, they got nice roads though.
Maybe
They're
they
doing
do,
something
yeah.
right.
My complaint about the whole tax thing is I'm never going to support a tax increase because they already get paid. I want to see responsible allocation and spending.
Well, stop taking federal
That
money.
too.
You're taking federal reserve money with interest attached to it. Then you're charging us for it,
Right.
And then you're eliminating some programs that we want because the Fed and whoever within government, they don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
Like in our school system, they're like, oh, you got to teach the kids this because we're funding you.
That's the benefactor, the benefactor benefit, where if the benefactor, being the benefactor, gets to have an opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
So-
here's some more stupid stuff with this gas tax and this Mike DeWine idiot. Dude, he's a jackass.
Yeah.
You ever heard him
Yeah.
speak before? This dude is an anti-constitutionalist, even though he
So
will
many of 'em are.
He will sit there and act like he is, and then all of a sudden just flip the script and sign some crazy crap.
Like Kavanaugh?
Right, like shutting down all the game rooms. He had part in that. Him and that other John.
So
dude.
Gambling should be legal.
So here goes
Right.
you're trying to be good for the environment with your electric car under this new gas tax.
Okay.
You
Is
buy-
that the excuse?
You want to buy an electric car because you want to save the environment. You don't want to pay their gas taxes. Well, Governor Mike DeWine says you're still paying an annual fee for that electric car, $200 annual fee, regardless. Okay.
So it's like Obamacare, only it's like gasoline care.
Right.
Yeah. So then, if you have a hybrid, it's only $100 annual.
Where, out of your taxes?
So it's like, well, if you get something that still takes gas, then we'll cut it in half. But if
Yeah.
you go no gas, we still want your money.
How about he retracts all of that, or he gets kicked out of office? Too bad it doesn't work that way.
right.
Why can't the people just take to the streets and make him resign? Like,
Because people are stupid.
yeah.
That's why we need to get one of our closies in that seat.
Our closies.
Yeah. And we'll be like, hey, look, man, 5% on the tax. That's what we have to say.
No, we're saying no tax. I mean, you guys are already
I mean, we
robbing.
gotta
I'd
do-
say
you gotta
y'all
do something.
have to start spending the money you're getting right, or I'm going to fire you
You got
myself.
to do something because we get somebody in that position, we'll be blowing through money.
Well,
money will be
no,
going
see,
out the window.
listen,
He would be. We should elect Chops and see what
Boats,
happens.
brand
No
new
way.
car. Oh, come on. I'll drive a gold-plated
See?
Rolls Royce
It'll be awesome, dude.
everywhere. I'd have a driver.
That would not work.
It would work for me.
Yeah, well, we're not even going to let you do that.
What? I'd have you guys with me. You guys can roll.
Chops for governor, man.
Where you want to go to Arby's? I'll get my driver.
You going to Arby's in a Rolls Royce?
Right, all day.
It's all good. It's on the taxpayers, man.
Shoot,
we just
like-
implemented a new 11-cent fuel tax, dude.
yeah.
It's all good.
Pull up.
Nuggets
Look,
for everybody.
Let me get 2 roast beef sandwiches and your 2 cutest workers in there. Send them on out. Send them out to the car.
It's all good. It's for the government, for the people.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Come here, sweetheart. I'm
gotta-
gonna make you a star.
I got an image I have to uphold.
Yeah, for real. I got a gold Rolls Royce. You think
Yeah.
I'm kidding?
So, all right. So, how do we vote for this new gas tax?
We don't.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs
DeWine's
down.
an idiot,
Yeah.
and we don't like it. So, piss off.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
It
We're
doesn't
still
matter.
gonna get it.
You know what we get to pick? We get to pick policy makers. We don't get to pick policy.
All right, what do you think about Biden running now for president?
I think
how old is that dude now? He's too old.
I think he's a fondler. It's kind of crazy.
Is he?
Oh yeah,
I want to be around that dude.
I'm just wondering why he decided to go, because he seems almost retarded to me when he speaks. I mean, he says a few things. He's real slow. I mean, you know, I'm attacking him personally from how he looks and acts and talks, but
he seems like a pretty absent vice president. I don't have much of an image of him at all, other than just like some creepy guy that likes to grab on people.
I think Jerry Springer should run for president.
Oh,
I mean, we've done it all. Why not
Jerry Springer.
Why not get Springer?
You know, Jerry Springer has some good things to say, man.
Jerry.
Yeah.
What do you think of gas prices? Jerry. What about the war? Jerry. Don't push a button, Jerry.
Don't push the button, Jerry.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Biden, I don't really want to get into him. He's an idiot. But,
Joe Biden.
You know, what's going on? There's like 900 Democrats running right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. What does he put there to try to beat Bernie to get rid of that socialism? I don't know.
You know what?
What's the New World Order doing?
The establishment does not want Bernie.
Isn't Oprah Winfrey running for president this time?
No. Thank God. Thank God.
What about Clinton? Hillary Clinton?
Hell
running again?
no. She said no. She said no. Thank God for that, too.
Yeah.
Well, I would rather
That
have
was a
her
disaster.
because you know Bill would be pulling the strings in the background.
You know, if Clinton...
No problem with Bill.
Yeah, right. If Clinton didn't
I do
run
not.
for president against Trump, Bernie would be president right now, I bet.
Definitely. Now I think, man, he's going to have a really good run this time.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of Republicans he's going to be up against other than Trump. And I don't know how many people are actually following
You know
Trump.
what?
I mean, I know I got friends I have friends that are on both sides. I don't know. What is the majority here? Like,
It'd be pretty tough for me personally to actually just follow a president, honestly, man. I'm too hip to the game.
yeah, me too.
You know what I
I
mean?
see people just like, Trump this, I love him,
No.
and then we hear our buddy John like just bashing him 900 times a day. Like, John, I'm
He
gonna
gets a little caught up. dude.
John,
He
I'm gonna
does.
have to
He
block
knows
you,
it,
dude.
though.
It's getting out of control.
They're just puppets up there anyway.
Well, yeah, we know
what we
that.
say.
But sitting there, wasting your time, like consistently trying to post crap to show that he's an idiot.
He goes back and forth with one guy on there is what it is.
I think
is
there
that
should
what
be.
that
I think
means?
there
Yeah,
should be a law. There should be a law about if you're going to run for president and you claim you're going to do all this stuff, you have to stick to at least 5 of them, or you get impeached within 6
Well,
months.
that's not really how it works. They get blocked, and there's
Congress is
I'm talking
all
about
over.
president.
pretty complicated.
Like if the president says, "Okay, I'm going to do this for the country. I'm going to do this for the country." He's got all these promises.
But
I think there should be a time limit that they all need done by, or else he gets impeached. First year, you have to have.
Well,
5 years
they have
done.
their
You're out.
term. They have their term to do it in. But the other side of this is that can't be ignored is that what he's doing, what got him in office, what got him elected, and what his promises were. That's fine and dandy, but not everybody's into that, and it isn't necessarily the right thing to do anyway. That's what we need to be looking at.
What?
Because it's a massive nation, man.
I'm speaking about the promises he makes during his election that makes you want to vote for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If he's
but
got all these wonderful sounding ideas
what if there aren't
and he
any?
doesn't come through, well, I mean, then who would you vote for? You know, you don't have.
It doesn't matter who I vote for, man.
You wouldn't have a bunch of candidates up there just standing there not making any promises. I'm going to change this.
No, I'm not saying that.
You got a routine that's why you're voting for him.
What I'm saying is it doesn't matter who's president. There's always going to be a lot of opposition. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who's president.
Because you have the left and right who are all bought and paid for, and they're all got certain agendas, and actually it's one common agenda in the end.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Even if there wasn't the left and right,
Tax.
it was no
Taxes.
parties. Any like all just independent parties or whatever. If there was 50 parties, it wouldn't matter. Whoever is at the helm is going to face opposition no matter what. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
If you have enough, if you have enough of the general voters are going for you, then Congress and all that have to abide. If their constituents are just screaming and protesting outside of everywhere, and there's millions of them,
This was that
critical mass.
That would be great if there wasn't so much imbalance with all the special interests just feeding cash to these cows, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even go vote. They don't even want to get out of their house and go vote. If everybody voted from their cell phone, it would be a big different change.
Well, people voting isn't necessarily a good thing either, because if you get 100,000 idiots voting for a guy and then idiots vote an idiot into office, then we just got an idiocracy, you know?
Right, yeah. There's a lot of idiots. I mean, there's idiots
Yeah, nobody
everywhere.
looking at policy. Nobody looking at what
No.
person
An
has
ignorant
done.
voter is
I like
a weapon.
his suit. I like his suit.
Yeah, I like the way he talked.
Right. You're fired.
An ignorant. We need a woman in office.
Oh.
I mean, that's the most retarded logic I've ever heard. It's just like saying we need a billionaire in office. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
there's nothing to substantiate any of that.
We need somebody who's not politically correct. You know, we want that. We are tired of this correct politics.
Yet there's nothing. Yeah, it's so.
We need somebody without a silver spoon in his mouth, brought up without a silver spoon. That's what we need. Somebody blue-collar work.
But then other people are
work
going to say
9
the
to 5.
opposite. Here's one thing I can tell you is that it's very, very rare, all but non-existent, to have somebody that even has an opportunity to run for high office that wasn't born with a silver spoon in their mouth.
Right.
man.
Well, then there
You got to
shouldn't be
work
one.
your way up through the Harvard chain.
Then there
have
shouldn't
to
be one
be-
single president. There should be 3 or 2 or 4.
Well, we have a Congress, but you have to have massive bankroll just to even get into that level of politics in the first place, and that's why lobbyists are so successful.
Yeah. Well, we got off into a little tangent there after freaking.
We always do.
After Biden. But all right, so let's see. How much time we got left here?
1 million.
We got some time. All right. So anyway, here's another one. The U.S. government.
You need your reading glasses.
The U.S. government will be scanning your face at the top 20 airports.
I'm glad I don't go to airports, man.
So let's see. In March 2017. Trump signed an executive order expediting the deployment of biometric verification of the identities of all travelers crossing the border.
I want to hear a quote-unquote self-proclaimed right-wing person, Trump supporter, defend that.
Right. That is a huge invasion on your privacy.
That is the opposite.
They have that at Walmart.
That is
They
the
have facial
opposite.
recognition at Walmart. Why not have it at the airport?
That's the opposite of small government. It's the opposite of liberty and free movement. It's the opposite. It's Orwellian.
It is.
It's the opposite of everything that America is supposed to be about.
Yeah, this is we're watching
What's
everything
it for?
you say.
Is it for our safety? Is that what it is?
We hear everything you say, everything you do, everywhere you go. We want to know everything about you. We know how much money you spend. Once we get rid of the cashless society,
We want to know if it's a floater or a sinker.
You know what's you know where
They'll
you know where there is no difference between the left and the right
where?
when it comes to stuff like that.
Oh yeah, mass surveillance.
Yeah.
They all want it.
I know.
They know that they can track everything. So if there's a movement of the population, they'll know before it even gets to a point where it can do something.
Yeah.
And they can shut it down. That is crazy, man. And people sit here and let it happen.
China's already denying people travel from the social credit system. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous, dude. Let's see. This is Executive Order 13769.
That's just another type of like Iron Curtain, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Trump signed this executive order, but it was put into place by Obama anyway.
Right.
So, I mean,
One step
he's just
closer to
carrying it on.
dictatorship.
Yeah, they're just carrying it on and
He's
on.
following the rule
Mass
book.
surveillance, dude. It's crazy. Like, stop it. Stop watching us.
Yeah.
What the hell? We're American citizens. We have a right to our privacy. Stop spying on us.
Right.
You know, in the United Kingdom, they have over 5 million actively monitored cameras right now, watching people on the street, watching what they do.
Oh, it's
didn't
stupid.
do it.
You watch us through our phones, our computers. We can't walk down the damn road without you watching us.
Yeah.
Mind your damn business. I mean, what happens when I want to see some classified documents. You can see into my freaking life.
You'll
I
see
want to
them
see into your freaking government.
If you live another 40 years, they'll release them.
You want to watch?
Right, after it's all, who cares anymore?
Well,
You
that's
wanna
when
watch-
they release them.
Yeah.
You want to watch us so bad? Watch our podcast.
Watch our podcast.
Watch this. Let me show you these.
Yeah, but you have a conversation with a couple of your buddies, and somebody's all pissed off, talking a little crazy about something.
There's someone sitting there. Oh, that's it. We got him. He's a terrorist now.
Right.
Beep, 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 from the sky.
Now they're like, well, we're just going to put him into this database, and depending on how many times he talks about AR-15s,
Yeah.
and he says it 20 times, all of a sudden they got a little dot on you.
He's been criticizing the Secret Service.
It is not a comb over. Pew.
Well, hey, if I ain't doing anything wrong, I ain't got nothing to worry about.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of people think. They're like, how do you know if you're doing something wrong or not with all these damn laws?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Your opinion's going to be
Arbitrary
wrong.
language. Anybody out there, if you don't know what arbitrary legal language is, look it up. Check it out. Because that's how they get your freedom and take it away from you and give it to themselves.
I know, that's all they do. Take it.
Take it. Every time they take it from you, it goes to them. That's called imbalance.
I'll give them something.
What are you going to give them?
Oh, they don't want what I got to give
A
them.
jelly donut.
All right, man, we're at the halfway point, fellas. BobandBobShow.com. Go there.
Complaintboxes.com. Make a profile. Put pictures and stuff up there, articles, whatever.
Definitely. We'll see you on the other side.
You know, Donald Trump, he embarrasses us every single day. Trump told the working people of Iowa, Vermont, and this country that he was going to stand with them. I know it will shock you when I tell you he lied. President Trump, you don't stand with working people when you told them you were going to provide health care to everybody, and then you pushed legislation that would have thrown 32 million Americans off of the health care that they have. You're not standing with working families when you give 83% of the tax benefits in your tax bill to the 1%. You're not standing with working people when you told them you would not cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security.
Crazy Bernie. He's crazy as a bedbug, but you know, he doesn't quit. He doesn't quit. Gotta hand it to him.
Climate change and our environmental challenges are one of the biggest existential threats to our way of life.
When the wind stops blowing, that's the end of your electric. Let's hurry up. Darling, is the wind blowing today? I'd like to watch television.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad.
Welcome back to the Bob and Bob Show. It's the second half of today's installment. We got LB here as always, and Chops.
Yes, sir. I'm in the house.
Hello.
Bearded one. You got kind of angry how dumb Trump was.
Well, the wind is blowing. The wind is blowing. Put on the podcast.
It doesn't really, it's not an anger thing. It's just, you know, sometimes Bernie says things that are true too, but how could it not be true? You hear things like Trump standing up there saying the wind blows and the wind stops blowing and the power goes out. That's not how it works. That's utterly retarded for the president of the United States to stand at a podium and speak to the world and say things like the wind stops blowing and the power goes out. That is not at all how it works. It's an insult to the world to stand there and say that.
Hey, people still support him, though. They don't care.
It's an insult to his own intelligence, whatever there is. I mean, it's so silly at this point. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing big time. What do you do, though? I mean, they're like, we're going to impeach him.
What do we ever do? We podcast about it. What can we do, man? You know?
Can you imagine what other countries are thinking of this dude? Look at this guy.
Well, that's just it. I mean, I don't know.
Goes on rant and raves, makes does stuff like that. What are you doing? Dude?
Yeah. We've reached a stage of pure idiocracy.
Right. And the wind don't need to blow. You're full of enough hot air. You just keep on talking, man.
Hey, maybe Trump can get us free energy. Screw Tesla's designs. Let's just have Trump speaking to a microphone and power the whole nation with
his loud
with hot air.
Hot air.
God.
Pawn his gold toilet so he can fund it.
Maybe Bernie can blow into his butt and we can get double energy, you know? It's crazy.
Well,
I don't know. Bernie's crazy. Trump's crazy. They're all freaking crazy. They don't make any damn sense, even though they do make sense, but yet they don't make sense. And some people think they make sense, but some people think they don't make sense. I mean, come on. Big circle here. It's a big freaking tornado of dumbness.
It's identity politics, man.
Well, you know, hit the real roots of the problem here. You want to know why you don't have money in your pocket? Well, I think taxes have a big freaking problem with that.
They kind of do. Check this out, man. And I make a good living. I do. And there's always haters out there, but someone that doesn't know my personal story, they can judge all they want, but it's meaningless if they don't know my personal story. But yeah, I do make pretty good money. So here's the thing, and you'll probably notice this too. Federal taxes, my federal tax withdrawals out of every paycheck are as much as my health care, my 401k, my state taxes, my Social Security withholdings, and everything else added together. My federal income tax is that much too. That's a bloated pig, man, and it's a lot of money.
I had no idea they tax streetwalkers. You better talk to your pimp about
crazy?
them taxes.
Maybe I should stop reporting my income, right?
Right,
Right.
exactly.
You should go be the bearded stripper at a strip club and
Yeah.
just pocket everything.
Isn't it funny how they take your money before you even see it? And it's illegal for your employer to withhold that information from them and not report your income. And your employer is the pass-through entity for the government. Your employer acts as an agent for an agency that takes your money, and they're mandated to take your money and pay it to the government before you even see it.
Blue-collar pimps.
Well, that's the tax side of it, but then there's the actual physical currency side of it, where eventually it gets to a point, which it is starting to, getting really close to where it's going to be cashless society.
Yeah.
So now you can't buy something from somebody else with a dollar bill because the government won't, they want it like this.
They want to track everything.
Yeah, they want to know what you're doing, and they sell that information probably, or that information gets stolen, quote unquote.
Sure.
And now you got advertisements popping up everywhere, and everybody knows where you're shopping, where you're spending your money. Did you go to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy a pistol or something? You know what I mean?
Right.
Actually, they don't sell ARs anymore, right? Or something.
I don't know what Dick sells
they do, just not
anymore.
fully.
I bought a 20 gauge shotgun there like in 2007, and I shot a buck that November with it.
Just what freaking right do these criminal employees have to just track our money and watch what we spend and do this?
They justify it by saying it's their money. I mean,
I can't wait till the dollar falls out and we get to barter and trade and canned goods are the currency because my mom is a millionaire.
We might not be that far from it, canned beans guy.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Beans and bullets.
My
beans
mom
and
will be a
bullets.
millionaire.
You know what?
Canned goods for days.
I mean, but how do you guys? How do our listeners feel? I mean, how do you feel about the government knowing every single penny that you spend, where it goes, how much you make?
The banks.
I mean,
not just the government, but the banks too.
The banks too.
It's they want it cashless so they can track it, just like how it's the same reason why things like prostitution are illegal. It's a taxation. It's a revenuing thing. It's hard to track businesses like that for taxation purposes, so they prohibit them,
Well, they're starting to track them with their cell phone monitoring and everything else.
Yeah, well, if I'm not buying anything that's bad, I don't have anything to worry about. I mean, this is the typical crap you hear all the time from people. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong, so who cares?
No, what's wrong?
Yeah,
That's
first
all
off, you
malleable.
don't know what's wrong, and second off, you don't know what kind of freaking data is being stored on you, and maybe you have to buy. You're a man, and you buy, let's say, tampons for your wife once a month or something like that. All of a sudden, you're getting ads for having a sex change or something.
Yeah.
On your phone.
Then you file your taxes. You say you're a male or whatever, but they're like, well, our database says that you're not sure if you're a male or not.
Well, a lot of that information tracking is private sector abuse of it too. You know what I mean? Like the Facebook information selling to ads. I mean, that's why Facebook is free, because they're selling you. They're selling you to advertisers.
There's something going on.
Just like how the government, you have a straw man. Your Social Security has a value. You are a commodity owned by the government. This is getting into the state side of things. It's the same thing. They own you, just like how Facebook owns your identity and sells it to advertisers that spit ads to you about things that you're talking about for a minute, or something you Google search, all of a sudden it pops up as an advertisement on any given website that you log into. Well, it's the same reason why, they want a cashless society, so they can track everything you do for the sole purpose of control and taking your tax money.
I just had a thought. Listen, okay, so what happened with this crazy dude that shot up a mosque with a GoPro?
New Zealand?
New Zealand. Okay, So if it was a cashless world, cashless society, he'd have to buy that GoPro somewhere.
Sure.
So now maybe they'll be like, well, if everybody who buys a GoPro might be a terrorist.
Sure. I mean, it can go any number of directions.
This is how far it can go, man.
I've got something going on with my phone now that where every time I go someplace, I'll stop at a gas station or something, I'll leave.
It asks you how it was?
Yes.
There? Yeah.
What is that about?
That's Google location notifications.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Well, this New Zealand shooting, 49 people.
Yeah,
killed.
it's crazy.
I know you guys are trying to look up the video and see.
Oh,
what
yeah,
I saw it. Yeah.
Did you see anything like any shooting?
It's
somebody
ruthless.
Yeah, we saw
yeah.
the whole thing. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
wow. So was it scary?
No.
Well, maybe not for you guys.
For them guys,
Oh, I'm sure it was literally mortifying to the people that were in it. Yeah.
it lit the whole place up.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, I saw the video.
Well, they're saying he's an Australian right-wing extremist.
Yeah. He's a crazy person is what
He
he
went
is.
to the extreme, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, what do they mean by right-wing extremist? He's in Australia, so what's their right-wing down there?
Well, the right-wing idea, I guess, in this context is pointing to a white supremacy thing, because apparently that's what right-wing is in this context. But
He's a down under supremacist.
So apparently this is what our mainstream whore media says, right? So
Yeah.
right-wing
well, he
is
said
white
it
extremist.
too, though. He had stuff written all over the rifles and stuff, like he came out and said it like it was for, the race war, the coming race war kind of thing. It wasn't literal, but yeah, he was talking about Trump and this is for you kind of thing. Like,
there was no hesitation
in
in that. There was no hesitation in that guy. That guy was dumping clips.
man, when he was driving to the place,
guns.
it looked like an Uber driver just going to the grocery store. He was just driving down the road, boop, 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 boop. Pulls up to the place, opens the hatch, walks in with a rifle, and just starts opening fire. The first person he sees, and just lays waste. Everybody's laying in a pile in the corners, and he's just firing into the piles, dude.
I think he was listening to rap music on the way.
It was definitely the music. It was rap music.
Yeah.
Was it rap music?
It
Yeah.
was definitely rap music.
It was rap music.
Yeah, that's what did it.
He was listening to Marilyn Manson.
Pushed
That's what made him do it. Oh, and Trump. Trump made him do it, too.
Huh?
Trump made him do it, too.
Oh, yeah, Trump made him do
See,
it.
yeah, I mean, obviously, anyone that's listening to the show knows that this is tongue-in-cheek right now because that's not how it works with crazy people. They're just crazy,
The
And
voices in his head made him do it.
there seems to be a strong thread of this whole what they're calling right-wing supremacist, white supremacist type of crimes going on. There's no doubt about that because they're shouting it from the bleachers or shouting it from the towers when they do it. What's up with all these crazy young dudes doing stuff like that? What's up with that? Why is
They
it
get
happening?
hit with a crazy
They're off
laser.
their meds.
It's
Pew,
nuts.
pew, crazy
they're-
laser.
I don't have any rational explanation for it. It's not because of a weapon. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with that.
No.
It has nothing to do with a politician necessarily. It doesn't have anything to do with anything but their own insanity.
Insanity.
It's
what
completely
makes Trump,
insane.
What makes what Trump says like you need to have a race war now all of a sudden? Like what? Why,
He doesn't say
Trump-
that.
Why is he
said
so
that?
racist? Why is everybody saying he's racist?
Oh,
Because
he's racist. He
there are
definitely-
people in the fringes that associate themselves with that political sect, and it isn't being denounced.
Didn't
it is
he-
lightly defended, but it's not just flat out being denounced. So the attachment remains.
Wasn't he on some recording being a real racist to that black girl that worked for him? And
I
he
don't
fired
know.
from the show?
I don't
think
know.
so.
You
I
could
think
call everybody racist in this country because everybody's talked smack about the other race one time or
Yeah.
another,
Right.
dude. I'm sorry,
It's
but
conve-
everybody
it does.
has.
It's
does.
convenient cloaking.
Happens, yeah.
It's stirring a pot that doesn't need to be stirred because it's just it serves a greater agenda.
Well,
and
so New Zealand,
it's not for the people.
So New Zealand has this shooter and this crazy crap happen over there, and then all of a sudden your girl AOC's over here denouncing the NRA. Did you see that?
No, the NRA don't have nothing to do with
I
it.
know.
either.
Nothing, yeah.
She's all she's talking about is like I don't know. It's like their fault or something.
You gotta have
we need
somebody to
stricter gun
blame.
control over here, or it can happen over here.
Well, it does happen here, and gun control has nothing to do with it.
Well, this is what your new Green Deal lady's freaking coming at. She's
Yeah.
gonna come after the Second Amendment.
She says a lot of
just
stupid
like all
stuff.
these other a-holes that are out there, like that don't understand what the freaking Second Amendment is all about in the first place. It ain't for duck hunting, folks.
Right.
So-
What I don't like about AOC is that she goes straight for the state power solution, and that is an absolute enemy in my book. That's not ever going to be something I'll support. ever.
I unfortunately watched a bunch of stuff she said on YouTube the other day, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I mean, it's funny how there's things like dancing around and what she says that are cool, and I kind of agree with it. But
Me too.
Between them, there's like, there's no way to get to it, first off. Second, you're not going after the actual problem.
Right.
So you're like, well, we need a green deal. We need to go green. We need solar. We need wind. We need all this stuff. And so how do we get to that point? We need it. So what are you going to do?
Get rid of the guns.
Get rid of the guns. Get rid of the airplanes. Get rid of the buses. Get rid of the this and that and that and that. How about go after the corporations who are in the oil industry? Because it's their fault.
She talks about that too, but her approach is so like authoritarian that I'm not even going to go near it.
Right. Loud, bug-eyed, authoritarian.
Her desire and message I can agree with and completely disagree with her method of approach because it's garbage. It's no better than the far right or whatever having their way. It's completely anti-liberty and it's not a systemic, sustainable plan or change.
Whatever, dude. I'm blocking you on Facebook. I don't like you anymore because you don't support AOC. You don't support Bernie. You don't support Trump. I can't be your friend anymore, Bob.
I'm reporting you.
Every time someone blocks me, to me at this point it's laughable.
I'm just saying this is how a lot of people in our society act.
I know. I see it all the time.
They don't even listen to our show because we bash frickin' Bernie or we bash Trump.
You know what I mean?
we have? How about shut up and pay attention? What a concept.
It's no different than when you were younger and you just put your fingers in your ears.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's a temper tantrum. That's what they're doing.
It's baby time. It's shutting down communication. And, it's fear of being wrong, I guess. It's an ego blast. But the reality is that open minds are the only ones that can grow, man. And intellectual change, intellectual evolution comes from open discourse. And you can't do that when you got your fingers in your ears and you're humming,
Now, listen here.
I don't like it. I don't want to hear it.
Listen, AOC said this. Isolation, dehumanizing stereotypes, hysterical conspiracy theories, and hatred ultimately lead to the anarchy of violence.
That's word salad.
Right. Of course.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Isolation and dehumanizing stereotypes. Like, because the person was isolated, it became violent.
Okay, well, that sounds like a personal issue.
Right.
Well, what if somebody decides to be isolated because they don't like all the
That's what I'm saying.
People?
That's a personal issue.
So now,
they become violent because you want to disrupt their isolation. That's why. Come in and get them stirred up. Man, look, I was good where I was.
It comes to Google and Facebook and everything that's tracking you, and they're like, well, you never leave your house. We better watch this person. He's getting a little crazy.
We're talking about people that are mentally deranged, and they're just falling down a path of delusion to the point where they're literally apparently blaming all the problems in the world on a group of people that are praying in a mosque and walk in there with several assault rifles on a planned assault and kill 50 of them. I mean, there is nothing from either side of the aisle that is going to convince me that's anything more than an insane person, dude.
No,
like,
I'm not debating the fact that there's insane people.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that some people tend to want to stay home.
And
because you stay home a lot through tracking and everything like that, they might say, within their database and how they
the guy's a hermit, he's dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, leave him alone.
Right.
I wonder if his phone pinged when he left. How was your visit to the mosque?
That's not cool.
Too soon.
Bing, how was your visit to Barnes and Nobles when you got the Anarchist cookbook? Bing, how was your visit to the gun store?
Nobody under 50.
Bing, how was your visit to the mosque?
Nobody under 40 is even going to know what that is, the Anarchist Cookbook.
Oh, man.
My grandpa had one of those.
Yeah, that has a lot of cool stuff in it.
It's the baked cookies.
You know who this show is for, folks? This show is for people that want to step outside of the bubble and just look at it like the snow globe that it is and check it out for what it is. And if you're into demagoguery, we're probably going to piss you off every time you listen.
Yeah.
Because we're going to trash them all, guys.
I thought this was a dating show.
Well, don't stop listening, though. You really can learn something out of us because we spew forth all kinds of crap all over the place and actually kind of come up with some solutions sometimes.
And you know what else?
And some problems that we need to face.
And if you don't like listening to me, you got a problem.
Yeah. You can also get on complaintboxes.com and tell us what you think. You can yell at us because you don't like what we said about Trump. And you can tell us about it. And then we can include that in a segment, explore that.
Yeah, well, if we include one of their things, I'm going to start giving away free stuff. So if we, not free stuff, but you win because we chose what you said on complaint box.
There's no such thing as free stuff. Well, it's free for you because it's a gift.
Yeah, it's not free for us.
Yeah.
Just pay shipping and handling for $19.95.
Shipping and handling, $199.95.
We'll send you a ballpoint pen. Just pay shipping and handling for $19.95. Give us your credit card number.
All right, so more stuff on there. Students around the world begin climate change walkout. This happened on Friday.
Yeah.
They're walking out because they want climate change.
They're walking out because they want to play hooky at school.
How do you make climate change?
We did the same thing with the bomb threats.
How do you make
the bomb threats so we can get out of school?
Well, no,
right. You're right about that. The kids, most of those kids, they
just want out of school.
They just want out of school. It's like that March for Our Lives thing, man.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but then there's also, they are protesting against their governments because the governments fail to take significant action against global warming.
How do you take action against global warming?
Here's the kicker. You want to take action against global warming? Does that mean tax us for carbon emissions? Does that mean take the Al Gore route on us?
So what you're saying is these kids are begging to be oppressed,
right?
And robbed.
These kids are
because they don't know what they're talking about.
These kids are wanting the government to have more of an open book so they can see what the government is doing.
Is that true?
No,
that's what I'd be protesting.
That's what I thought that was about.
No, they're begging for government mommy and daddy
to do something
to fix everything. And what they don't understand is that their frame of reference is that of children because they are children. They don't know how this all works.
Well, the media puts it out there because they want you to look at these children. They are so, about their countries.
You get all these Generation Xers like us, and they're like, oh, that's so great. Look at these kids. They're so inspired. And then they dumb themselves down to that level because it's so inspiring.
There's 300, there's 300 kids that skip school and only 20 of them at the protest.
Let's get real about it.
I don't even want to hear about climate change until you guys take out the freaking oil industries across the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had the technology. We talked about it. We do not need it.
Petrochemicals. Here's the thing. If we just, quote unquote, get rid of oil right now, fabrics go away, plastics go away, manufacturing processes go away, infrastructure goes away, rubber goes away, roads go away. All of it goes away.
But there's alternatives to all this.
But it's not just like, okay, let's ban this and go do that. It's a long road, man.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
So what they do, what are they going to do? Put a tariff on them?
No.
There's a solution.
This is radical. Check this out. This is so radical it'll work.
Radical.
All right, let me hear. What do you got?
You develop incentives for companies, from a government approach, you can develop incentives for companies to start using alternative energy sources, to start for municipalities, states, if they start putting in grids. Private companies often handle grids. Put in grids that are more eco-friendly and less coal-based. But you don't just get rid of what's already there. You start replacing what's already there gradually, and it takes a long time. But before you know it, the old way is old and the new way is new.
This is what you do. You pop open the door for Area 51 and ask Alex the alien for the solution to the problem.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because they have all of that in Area 51. You want
anti-gravity, dude? They just need to get into the bunkers at Area 51.
I don't see
We can see Digloka. I mean, this is 90-year-old technology, man. Nobody's going to know what I'm talking about.
There's no exhaust. There's no exhaust stains on the crop circles.
None whatsoever. It's done with microwave power, man.
Yep.
It pops the nodes on the plant, pops the nodes on the oat, and makes it lay down because that's the part that makes it stand up. Mm-hmm. That's where all the strength is. It's like the joint in your knee. It pops that joint, and the plant just lays down.
Same on every single plant in the whole circle.
It's not crushed. It doesn't hurt the plant at all. The plant is still growing. The ones that are blooming and in flower, they're laying down in the crop circle with the flowers still alive and intact on them. That's not from walking around with boards and ropes, dude.
Eco-friendly crop circles.
How did we get this far off course?
Because you guys are out of your freaking mind.
Out of my mind.
But you are touching on something because obviously we know that
there's a lot more technology.
There's a lot of technology that we are not allowed to know. It will cripple all these big companies, these big corporations, and governments because I mean, what would governments and corporations do if everybody had a generator on their house that ran everything for free?
And a car drove on water.
You want your socialism? All right, I'll give you socialism. Give me my free generator.
One of the things that needs to change if we are going to change to a more green deal, okay? One of the things that needs to change, and AOC's on this too. She's too new to be corrupted yet. She will be. But getting the special interest out of ending lobbying, getting the special interest, getting term limits in Congress.
Yes.
Because it's the money that's flowing into legislation. That's how corporations are writing law. They're buying laws and they're keeping the status quo the way it is because that's how they're making money. And whether or not global warming is real, okay, let's just say it doesn't matter for the sake of this because it doesn't. What we're talking about is going for renewable resource that is not impactful, that doesn't require ripping the ground apart, that and pulling resources out of the ground.
No, carbon footprint.
We're talking about water flowing. We're talking about cars driving over, I don't know what to call them, like sensors on pavement that gather the energy from the movement of the car over the pavement. We're talking about really innovative stuff.
Yeah. Fans inside the car, as the air goes through, they spin and generate power.
Absolutely. Wind power in the sky. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of wind farms across the Midwest and the West and stuff. We're talking about using hydroelectric, even maybe some nuclear, even though
the only reason why we don't have it is because it's been suppressed.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
For profiteering.
Yes.
Have the cars run on something we dispose of, like
for
feces.
Corporate mafioso profiteering.
What won't be the solution, and this is the problem I have with the Green Deal, other than some of the stuff, just some of the proposals in that are just fantastically ridiculous and impractical, but one of them, it's completely unsustainable. One of the problems with that Green Deal is that AOC wants to use government power and government coercion and control of resource and industry to fix these problems. And we've seen that in every massive despotic nation, like the USSR, for example. These things have been tried. Were they effective to their goal? Yes, they were. What did it cost? Millions and millions of lives and the freedom of millions and millions and millions of people. And I'm not really going to ever be into that.
No. Sounds like an upskirt battle.
And if they can't do it without reallocating taxes that they already get, I'm not going to be into it. Because when the Pentagon fails an audit for $21 trillion, you're not going to raise my taxes. You're not going to.
Yeah, they are.
For anything.
They are.
Well, yeah, you get what I'm saying, though. I'm never going to support it.
You don't want them to.
Universal health care, we're only going to raise your federal taxes 10%. No, I'm not on board. I'm not going to support it then.
I don't want your health care. I don't want to pay your taxes.
Do it with what's already
you're not allowed
there.
To do that. It's the same thing, big romper room going on, these politicians bouncing around, making legislation and laws against the people, and you support them.
And they write them in crayon.
Check this out. One thing about corruption, term limits and stuff like that. There's a disadvantage to having term limits, and that being experience in lawmaking, because if you can only serve for so long, you only get a certain amount of experience and then you're done. So there's not going to be these, 30-year veteran statesmen up there that are really good at legislating, even though the kind of legislating they're doing is debatable. But, okay, so that's the downfall of term limits. The good part of term limits is that it de-incentivizes lobbyists. It would make their costs go up exponentially because when you've bought a politician and he remains in office, all you have to do is keep feeding him to keep him in your interest.
Yeah, so he votes yay or nay.
Yeah.
And whenever you need him to.
If he expires and he's gone, he's been replaced by a new guy because there's term limits now, you have to re-corrupt this new guy. That takes a lot more money and effort.
Well, yeah. At the same time,
true.
we have to be able to see. Let's see where that first corruption came from. I mean, why can't we see that? Why can't we go after the corruptor and the corrupted?
Well, that's the idea, but
and beat them.
Let's go. Let's do democratic socialism.
You could compare it. You could compare it to when you buy a car, when it needs an oil change, you don't throw it away and buy a new car. You just pay for the oil change. So the politician is the car. You'd have to get rid of the car when it needs an oil change because the term limit's expired. Now you have to buy a new car. You see how much more expensive that is?
Yeah.
That's like That's how it would affect the lobby machine. Term limits.
Yeah. Well,
that sounds too practical.
Well, yeah,
practical.
That's over with.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No more thinking like that. You use too much of your brain.
I forgot if it's practical. It's a definite no.
Right.
Well, this democratic socialism to me is nothing but just a new form of crony capitalism.
Vote for running for cars on feces.
Without getting rid of the cronies, without getting rid of the corporate special interests, without getting rid of the lobbyists and the bribery, without getting rid of the status quo.
All the
fun. You can call it what you want. You can turn it into whatever model you want, and nothing is going to change at our end.
Yeah, just give it a different name.
Yeah.
That's how...
Slightly different method, same result, corrupted politicians, and you guys are all screwed. By the way, here's the bill.
Yeah, here's a new front man, and here's a new way of life.
Put some sprinkles on the turd.
Can't polish a turd.
Oh.
Hey, you can listen to the show for free. Complaintboxes.com, bobandbobshow.com.
Yes, sir. Check us out.
Vote for us. Vote for us.
Vote for the Bob and Bob Show.
Vote for Team Reality.
Don't forget to vote.
We'll see you again.
Vote harder.